The text came on a Tuesday afternoon from my sister Lauren, 3 weeks before her graduation party. "Hey, about the graduation thing, I've been thinking. Maybe it's better if you don't come. My friends from university will be there. It's kind of an educated crowd. You might feel out of place." I read it twice, trying to understand what she was really saying. Out of place? You didn't go to college. Everyone else did. It'll just be awkward, for you and for me. I don't want people asking uncomfortable questions about my family. My family. She meant me, the sister who'd embarrassed her by not having a degree. I looked at the laptop beside me, at the email I'd just received from Northwestern University's financial aid office. Subject: Final payment confirmation. Lauren Martinez, class of 2024. $67,000. That's what I'd paid this year alone. Her senior year tuition, room and board, books, fees, everything. Lauren thought she'd received a full scholarship, the Martinez Family Memorial Scholarship named after our grandmother. She'd gotten the acceptance letter, the scholarship notification, everything official. She didn't know the scholarship didn't exist, that I'd created it, that every semester for 4 years I'd paid her tuition while working 60-hour weeks as a software engineer, that the $268,000 she thought came from some generous foundation came from me, her sister, the one who didn't go to college, the one who wasn't educated enough for her graduation party. I texted back 6 words. "We need to talk, in person." There's nothing to talk about. I'm just trying to avoid awkwardness. Trust me, there's plenty to talk about. See you Saturday. 3 days later, I showed up at her off-campus apartment, the one I'd helped her afford with a generous family contribution she thought came from our parents. Lauren opened the door, surprised, uncomfortable. "Megan, I told you." "I know what you told me. We're still talking. Let me in." If you've ever been judged for your education while secretly supporting someone else's, stay with me until the end. Your support means everything to me. Hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments. Would you reveal the truth or keep it hidden? Let's talk about it. Now back to my story. My name is Megan Martinez. I'm 29 years old, 5 years older than my sister Lauren. And yes, I didn't go to college. Not because I wasn't smart enough, not because I didn't want to. Because when I was 18, our father died suddenly. Heart attack. He was 47. Gone in an instant. Dad was the breadwinner. Mom worked part-time as a library assistant. We had some savings, some life insurance. Not enough. I'd been accepted to 3 universities, had plans, dreams, a full ride to study computer science at UC Berkeley. Everything ahead of me. Then Dad died. And everything changed. Mom couldn't work full-time. Depression, grief. She barely functioned. Lauren was 13, still in middle school, still needed stability, still needed someone to pack her lunches and help with homework and make sure she had clean clothes. Someone had to hold everything together. That someone was me. I deferred Berkeley for a year, then another year, then indefinitely. Instead, I taught myself to code, online courses, free resources, YouTube tutorials, coding boot camps I could afford with the money I made working retail. I spent every night after work learning, building, creating. By 21, I'd built enough of a portfolio to get hired as a junior developer. By 23, I was a senior engineer. By 25, I was making 6 figures. I never went to college, never got that degree, never walked across a stage or wore a cap and gown. But I built a career anyway, through self-discipline and determination, and thousands of hours of teaching myself what universities taught in classrooms I'd never sit in. Lauren didn't see any of that. She saw her older sister who never went to college, who worked in tech but didn't have the credentials, who wasn't educated like her friends' siblings. What she didn't see was the sacrifice, the nights I stayed up coding while she slept, the promotions I earned while she was in high school, the money I saved while she was preparing for college. When Lauren got accepted to Northwestern, she was ecstatic, then terrified. Tuition was $60,000 a year, plus room and board, plus everything else. Our mother had maybe $20,000 saved, nowhere near enough. "I can't go," Lauren had cried. "We can't afford it. I'll have to go to state school or community college." Nothing wrong with state school or community college. But Northwestern had been her dream. She'd worked hard, earned it, deserved it. I couldn't let her lose that because of money, because Dad had died, because life had been unfair to our family. So I made a decision, one I kept secret for 4 years. I contacted Northwestern's financial aid office, explained I wanted to create a private scholarship. The Martinez Family Memorial Scholarship, named after our grandmother, to honor her legacy, to support deserving students, specifically to support my sister. They handled everything. I funded an account. They distributed the money each semester, sent official scholarship letters, made it look completely legitimate. Lauren received her acceptance packet with a separate letter. Congratulations, you have been awarded the Martinez Family Memorial Scholarship. Full tuition, room and board for 4 years, contingent on maintaining a 3.0 GPA. She'd cried. Happy tears, relief, excitement. I can't believe Grandma's name is on a scholarship. I didn't even know this existed. It's a new scholarship, first year. You're lucky. She had no reason to question it. Why would she? Everything looked official. Northwestern wouldn't lie about a scholarship. I paid $67,000 her freshman year, $68,500 her sophomore year, $65,000 her junior year, and $67,000 this year, plus a monthly stipend for expenses that I routed through our mother's account, so Lauren thought it was family support. Total investment, $268,000 over 4 years, while working full-time, while advancing my career, while living in a modest apartment and driving a 10-year-old car so I could afford to send my sister to her dream school. I never told her, never wanted credit, just wanted her to have the opportunities I'd lost. I thought she'd appreciate it someday, that maybe years from now I'd tell her the truth, that she'd understand the sacrifice, thank me, recognize what I'd done. Instead, I got uninvited from her graduation party because I didn't have a degree. Lauren let me into her apartment, reluctant, defensive. Megan, I don't understand why you're making this difficult. It's just a party. It's your graduation party. I'm your sister. You're uninviting me because I'm not educated enough. That's not what I said. That's exactly what you said. You didn't go to college, everyone else did. You'll be out of place. That's what you texted. She looked uncomfortable. I just meant that you might not relate to my friends. They're all going into professional careers, law school, medical school, PhDs. You work in tech without a degree. It's just different. Different because I'm less educated. I didn't say less. You're ashamed of me. I'm not ashamed. I just don't want the focus to be on why my sister doesn't have a degree. I want this to be about my achievement. Your achievement. Yes, I worked hard for 4 years. I earned this degree. I want to celebrate with people who understand that journey. I pulled out my laptop, opened it, pulled up the Northwestern Financial Aid portal. I'd kept access as the scholarship administrator. Lauren, before I show you something, I want you to know I didn't do this for gratitude. I did it because you're my sister, because you deserved opportunities I didn't get, because Dad dying shouldn't have destroyed your future. What are you talking about? I turned the laptop toward her, showed her the scholarship account, the Martinez Family Memorial Scholarship, 4 years of transactions, every tuition payment, every housing payment, every fee. She stared at the screen, confused. This is the scholarship account? Yes. Why are you showing me this? Look at the funding source. She scrolled, looked at the account details. Her face changed from confusion to shock. This is your bank account. Yes. You've been funding the scholarship? There is no scholarship, Lauren. Not really. I created it. I funded it. I paid for your entire education. Every semester, every class, every meal plan, every dorm room, every textbook, all of it. Me. She stared at the screen, at the numbers. $67,000, $68,500, $65,000, $67,000, quarter after quarter, year after year. You paid for Northwestern? All of it. But the scholarship letter was official. Northwestern sent it. I arranged it with financial aid. I wanted it to look legitimate. I didn't want you to feel like charity. I wanted you to feel like you'd earned it, which you did, just not from some mysterious foundation. From me." Lauren sat down heavily, still staring at the numbers. "This is $268,000. Give or take. You paid $268,000 for my education?" "Yes. While working in tech, without a degree." "Without a degree." She looked up at me, her face cycling through emotions I couldn't read. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I didn't want you to feel guilty, didn't want you to feel like you owed me, didn't want to burden you with the knowledge that I was sacrificing. I wanted you to enjoy college, to focus on your education, to have what I couldn't have. What you couldn't have because Dad died. Because Dad died and someone needed to take care of the family. That was me. And I'm okay with that choice. I built a good career. I make good money. I have a good life. But I did it without the degree, without the credential, without the thing you seem to think makes someone worthy of attending your graduation party." The words hung there, sharp, pointed, true. Lauren looked at the laptop again, at the numbers, at the proof that her educated, credentialed, degree-holding college career had been funded entirely by her uneducated sister. "I didn't know." "Of course you didn't. That was the point." "Megan, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I'd sacrificed $250,000, that I'd worked 60-hour weeks to afford your tuition, that I'd lived in a cheap apartment and driven an old car so you could have the college experience I never got. Yeah, you didn't realize. I just thought the scholarship was me, the family support that came through Mom's account, also me, the generous contribution for your housing, me, everything. It's all been me, your uneducated sister who isn't qualified to attend your graduation party." Lauren started crying. Not manipulative tears, real tears. Shame, guilt, realization. "I've been so ungrateful. Yes. I've been acting like I'm better than you. Yes. And the whole time, you've been the one making all of this possible. Yes." She looked up at me. "What can I say? How do I apologize for this?" "I don't know. You uninvited me from your graduation party because I don't have a degree. The degree you only have because I paid for it. That's pretty spectacular, Lauren." "I was being a snob." "You were being a snob to the person who's funded your entire adult education, while working in a field you clearly don't respect because I don't have the right credentials." "I do respect what you do." "No, you don't. You think it's less than. You think I'm less than. Because I didn't sit in classrooms, because I don't have a diploma, because I taught myself instead of having professors teach me." "That's not true." "It's exactly true. You just said I'd be out of place at your party because everyone else is educated. As if education only counts if it comes with a degree. As if the hundreds of hours I spent teaching myself to code don't matter because I didn't do it in a university." Lauren wiped her eyes. "You're right. I've been acting like formal education is the only kind that matters, like your path was somehow less valid because it wasn't traditional. While your entire traditional path was funded by someone who took the non-traditional one. I'm sorry, Megan. I really am. I've been terrible, ungrateful, elitist, everything you're saying. You're right about all of it." I looked at my sister, the person I'd sacrificed for, protected, supported, who'd just told me I wasn't good enough to celebrate her achievement, the achievement I'd made possible. "I didn't tell you about the scholarship to make you feel guilty. I told you so you'd understand. Understand that judging people for not having a degree is cruel, especially when you're judging the person who gave up their own education so you could have yours. You gave up Berkeley. I deferred Berkeley, then deferred again. Then eventually, it didn't make sense anymore. I was already working, already building a career, already making money. College would have been a step backward at that point. But you wanted to go. Of course I wanted to go. I had a full ride. I had plans. I had dreams. But Dad died. Mom fell apart. You were 13. Someone had to be the adult. That was me." Lauren stood up, came over to me, hugged me. "I'm so sorry. For everything. for being ungrateful, for judging you, for not seeing what you've done, for being ashamed of the person who's made my entire life possible." I hugged her back, let her cry on my shoulder, felt my own anger starting to soften. "I'm not uninviting you," she said into my shoulder. "You're coming to the graduation party. You're sitting in the front row, and I'm going to tell everyone there that my sister paid for my entire education while building an incredible career without a degree, that she's the smartest, most generous person I know, that I wouldn't be graduating without her." "You don't have to do that." "Yes, I do. Because it's true, and because I've been acting like I'm the successful one when you're the one who made everything happen." 3 weeks later, I went to Lauren's graduation party at a nice restaurant near campus. 50 people, her friends, our extended family, her professors, everyone important from her 4 years at Northwestern. I wore a simple dress, nothing fancy, didn't try to impress anyone, just showed up as myself, the software engineer, the sister, the person who didn't have a degree but had built a life anyway. Lauren's friends were friendly, curious about what I did. I told them, software engineer, specializing in machine learning and AI applications, self-taught, no degree. Some were impressed. Some were curious how I'd broken into the field without credentials. Some clearly didn't know what to make of me. Then Lauren stood up, clinked her glass. The room went quiet. "I want to thank everyone for coming today. This graduation means everything to me. Northwestern has been incredible, transformative, life-changing. I've learned so much, made amazing friends, had experiences I'll never forget." She paused, looked at me. "But there's something I need to tell you. Something I learned recently that changed how I see everything, including my own achievement." The room was silent, attentive. 4 years ago, I got into Northwestern, my dream school, but we couldn't afford it. My dad had died when I was 13. My mom worked part-time. There was no way we could cover $60,000 a year in tuition. She took a breath. Then I got a letter. The Martinez Family Memorial Scholarship, full tuition for 4 years. I thought it was this amazing foundation, this incredible opportunity, a gift from fate. Another pause. 2 weeks ago, I learned the truth. The scholarship wasn't from a foundation. It was from my sister. Megan created it, funded it, paid every single dollar of my education, $268,000 over 4 years, while working full-time, while advancing her own career, without ever telling me. Gasps around the room, people looking at me, Lauren's friends, our relatives, everyone processing this information. "Megan didn't go to college," Lauren continued, "not because she couldn't, but because when our dad died, someone needed to hold our family together. Someone needed to work. Someone needed to take care of our mom and me. That person was Megan. She gave up her full ride to Berkeley, taught herself to code, built an incredible career, and then used her success to give me the education she never got." She was crying now, real tears. 2 weeks ago, I uninvited Megan from this party. I told her she'd be out of place because she doesn't have a degree, because everyone here is educated and she's not. Uncomfortable shifting in the room. Lauren's friends looking shocked. I was wrong, completely wrong. Megan is the most intelligent, accomplished person I know. She's brilliant, she's successful, and she did it all without the credential I'm about to receive, the credential she paid for, the credential that only exists because of her sacrifice. Lauren looked directly at me. "Megan, I'm sorry for being ungrateful, for being a snob, for judging you for not having the thing you gave me. You're the reason I'm graduating. You're the reason I had this experience. You're the reason I'm standing here today. Everything I have, everything I've achieved, I owe to you." The room erupted in applause, people standing, looking at me, smiling, some crying. Lauren's advisor, a professor of economics, came over. "You funded her entire education?" I did. "And you work in tech without a degree?" "Self-taught, been coding since I was 19. He shook his head. "That's remarkable. We should have you speak to our students about alternative paths, about building careers outside traditional education. Would you be interested?" "Maybe. Let me think about it." Lauren's best friend Maya came over. I'm sorry for being part of the problem. Some of us have definitely been judgy about the degree thing, like it's the only measure of intelligence. Your story proves that's wrong. Thanks, I appreciate that. The party continued, people coming up to me, asking about my career, how I learned to code, how I broke into tech, how I managed to earn enough to pay for a Northwestern education. I answered honestly. It wasn't easy. It took discipline, thousands of hours of study, rejection after rejection before getting hired, years of proving myself without the credential everyone else had. But I did it. And then I used what I'd built to give my sister opportunities I hadn't had. 3 months after Lauren's graduation, she moved to Chicago for her first job, financial analyst at a major firm. Good salary, good benefits, everything she'd worked toward. We had dinner the night before she moved, just the two of us. I've been thinking about what you did, she said. The scholarship, the sacrifice, all of it. Okay. I want to pay you back. Lauren, no, not all of it. I can't afford that, but something, a percentage of my salary, until I've paid back at least part of what you invested in me. You don't owe me anything. That wasn't a loan. It was an investment, and I want to honor it. Let me do this. I thought about it, about letting her contribute, about the symbolism, about her need to feel like she was giving back. Okay, but not to me, to the scholarship. Make it real. Fund the Martinez Family Memorial Scholarship. Help another student who needs it. Someone whose siblings sacrificed for them. Someone who deserves opportunities but can't afford them. Lauren smiled. Make it a real scholarship? Make it real. In Grandma's name, in Dad's memory. For students like you who have the ability but not the means. That's how you pay me back. That's perfect. Let's do it. We contacted Northwestern, established a real scholarship fund. Lauren committed 10% of her salary for the next 10 years. I matched it. Together, we'd fund full rides for deserving students every 4 years. The Martinez Family Memorial Scholarship became real. Not just a cover story for my secret support, but an actual legacy, something that would help students long after we were gone. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support truly means the world to me. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. I love reading every single one of them. Each comment inspires me to keep creating stories for you. See you next time.